What is up, guys? Thanks for watching as always. Today we're going to have another short video. I just received this parcel in the mail from Japan. A little bit more exciting than the lures I ordered last time. So we ordered this 1,000 size fishing reel. Tiny little lightweight reel. Let me see if I've got a knife here. Scissors will work too. Now we ordered some fishing line for it as well. Reason why I'm making this video right now, a lot of the models from both Shimano and Daiwa are going on sale because they're bringing out a whole bunch of new models for this year. And so you can get the older models for a very cheap price. And reason why I think this is significant is because, in my opinion, it's very, very hard to make a much better reel than the flagship reels of both of those brands are already that have already been brought out. So I don't think, for example, the Shimano Stella SW that is coming out this year, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more of an improvement than what we've already had. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people dislike the last model compared to the model before that. They actually prefer the silver model that came out, when was it? Maybe 2008? Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people prefer that model over the newer versions, and I don't think there's going to be much difference with this one either, because they tried to focus on making the reel a little bit lighter. Now that might be more interesting because it makes fishing a lot easier, obviously, but they may have compensated on the quality of the material, so you just never know. So as I said, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more progress in terms of reels, unless there's like some revolutionary new design in the reel, which is not the case. So we ordered this 1,000 size Twinpower. Not 100% sure what year model it was, but the reviews were quite good, and I got it for 25% off, which on a pretty high-end reel saves you about $100, so it's a good deal. Alright, so we got the handle. I'll just put this down on the floor here. I also ordered some line for it. Well, I'll wrap that in a second. Now, the reason why I'm kind of excited about this small reel for ultralight fishing is because about 4 or 5 years ago, 3 of my reels were stolen when I was still living in college. I had a Shimano SW Stella stolen, a Twinpower CR4. Yeah, Twinpower CR4, they were only available in Europe for like a couple of years, 1 or 2 years. And I had my Certate 1000 size stolen, so I haven't been able to fish with my ultralight rig for close to 5 years now. So I'm quite excited to have a 1000 size reel again. So we just fixed up the handle. They always come with this protection knob. That feels good, feels sturdy. Not a massive fan of the design, to be honest. Like, I don't really like that backwards bent, but apparently it's supposed to save you some weight or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter for me. What I am excited about is that there's no reverse, which is good because I never use reverse. I feel like if you have a reel that has a really good drag, you don't really need to have it. I've heard from some people that fish for big spotted bass in California that they need it. Never tried it, so I wouldn't know. But anyway, that's the reel that we got. Shimano Twinpower 1000 PGS. So, yeah, pretty happy with that. So we ordered some very light line. I think this is 6-pound braid. One issue that I'll always have with super light reels, super small reels, is that their capacity of line obviously is very limited, but they make them super shallow because they expect you to use very light line, and so therefore don't want you to feel like you have to buy a 300 yard spool. But the problem is, quite often I'll have trouble fitting 150 yards on these two. So hey, Shimano and Daiwa, if you're watching, please make your spools a little bit deeper, but we'll see how much of this 150 yards we can put on. We'll probably have to kind of cut some off, but we'll see. Either way, let me go over the specs real quick. I mean, I don't even know this off the top of my head. I don't even know if there's an English version. Nope, there's no English on this whatsoever. Here we go. Alright, 1000 size PGS ratio is 4.3. Not very high, but again, that's what you're going to get with tiny little reels. Max drag force. That doesn't even make any sense. Weight is 195 grams, so 6.9 ounces. Line capacity 0.6 PE, which is what I've got. Yep, is 140 yards. So we should be able to fit almost all of the line on here, if it wasn't for the fact that I will be putting a little bit of nylon on the base, because otherwise the braid spins on your spool. Nylon doesn't matter, don't fish it. Line retrieve per crank, 22 inches per crank or 57 centimeters. And there's 9 ball bearings and 1 roller bearing in this. So sounds good to me. To be honest, if you buy like a high-end reel that's 4,000 size, it's going to last you, because you're not going to absolutely thrash it like you're going to do with a 4,000 or 5,000 size and up, let alone 18,000. So yeah. Now the line that we got was a Unitika Night Game. I like this one because it has a indicator every foot instead of every 10 yards, which is your regular jig and braid. This has an indicator every foot apparently, so I don't see it, but yeah, there is some different color line in there, so we'll see. It's bright yellow. This is PE 0.6, 150 meters. Was on sale as well, 10 bucks for a roll of quality braid is good. So pretty happy. I'll spool it up for you on the video. I'll show you how I do it. I'll have to get some nylon, so we'll be right back with you. Alrighty, so I've been able to get myself some nylon. This is some trilene, very light stuff. I've tied it to the spool already. Now, I will say I do prefer getting my line spooled on a spinning reel. For a braid caster it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but with a spooling machine, what it allows you to do is have both the spinning reel spool and the line spool parallel to each other, and that allows for your line being spooled onto your spool without it being spun around. So right now, if I'm going to have to wind, it's going to be spun one time for every wind. Don't know if that makes sense, but what it comes down to is that you're much less likely to have a bird's nest on your casts whenever you get it spooled on a spooling machine. However, when you're going to start retrieving your line, it's going to start spinning anyway. So if you're careful with your first couple of casts, you can just spool it by hand, no problem. A little trick that I do, since I don't have a spooling machine, I just get a pencil, feed it through the middle of this line spool, and then we can start going. Now I want this to be spun real tight so that it actually grips around the spool properly. There we go. Cool. And the reason why I'm doing nylon now, as I said before, since we've got such a shallow reel, a good thing is you only need a couple of wraps. The limited amount of braid that you can put on there actually doesn't grip the spool enough, and so when you're onto a big fish and you get your drag set fairly heavy, and I mean fairly heavy because you're only going to be limited to what you can do with a small reel, the braid might actually start spinning onto your spool, so you can't actually determine your drag set. The line is just going to spin on your spool while the drag set at a completely different setting. So we'll have to use some nylon because it actually has some stretch in it and actually grips the spool properly. You can also use some tape, but because again this reel is so shallow, I don't fully trust it. So if you were using, say, a big heavy reel like 18,000 Stella or something along those lines, it'd be in a completely different scenario, because you put so much braid on there under such heavy force that it should be alright with your braid probably won't spin onto your spool. That's what it comes down to. So now what I will do, because I've got limited spool capacity here, I'm going to tie an FG knot real quick because that's the slimmest knot and it's also the strongest, but that'll take some time. So I'll be right back with you once I'm done. Alrighty, so we tied the FG knot. I know that you'll be barely be able to see that. There we go. Maybe it's a good thing you can barely see because it means it's a small knot. But we're just going to wind the rest of the nylon onto the spool, and then obviously it transitions into the braid, and we're going to go from there. So let's see how much we can fit with this 150 meter spool. It's going to be probably about 165 yards or so. Hopefully we can fit most of it on, so yeah, we'll see. I think we're looking pretty good already, unfortunately. So let's see how much we got left. Ooh. I guess we can fit on a little bit more, but not a whole lot because definitely we'll be casting bird's nest after that, so that'll be a waste. Alright, let's see. And there's pretty much nothing left, so I'm just going to spool the whole thing on and see how I go. If I get a bird's nest, it's fine, I'll just cut it off. And that is all she wrote. That's definitely overspooled. I don't know if you can see that, but we're definitely pushing our luck here. But because it's braid and it doesn't have the characteristics of nylon where it just jumps off your spool, and it's very thin, maybe we get away with it. Maybe. Now here's the exciting part. I haven't been able to use this rod in almost 5 years now. It's one of my favorite rods. I bought this when I was in high school. Just as a refresher, you guys obviously know the brand Jackall, a very well known Japanese brand. In Europe they're distributed under a different name. They got Lake Police in Japan, Jackall Brothers International, and then in Europe it's called Illex, and I bought this rod. It's technically just a Jackall Brothers rod, but Illex Stream Master, Ashura Stream Master. Whoop. Awesome little rod. It's got like the wooden reel seat and everything. Fantastic little rod. Caught a lot of fish on it too, but again, because I didn't have my ultralight reel, couldn't use it, so we're back in business with this one again. Good stuff. Alrighty. Beautiful. Ready to go. Cool. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have to test out this reel and see how it goes, but I'm excited to be able to use my ultralight setup again. Just as what I'll probably get the question of is where I ordered the reel. I ordered it from plat.co.jp. It's one of the big online Japanese sport fishing tackle retailers. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let us know. Cheers.